You and I are stepping into a period that feels quieter on the surface, but tighter in its structure. After the Akkadian Empire fractures, the South does something remarkable. It rebuilds. The city of Ur becomes the center of a new order we call ur-namma, or the third dynasty of Ur. This episode is about restoration through administration. How a society tries to pull itself back together, not with conquest, but with record-keeping, organization, and a deep belief that order can be designed. Begin with the problem they inherit. Akkad's empire has weakened. The region is fragmented. Local rulers reassert control. Trade networks are unstable. The question is not just who rules, but how to make the system predictable again. Ur-namma is one of the clearest answers in Mesopotamian history, a state that runs on bureaucracy. Imagine the city of Ur at this moment. It is old, respected, and strategically placed. The rulers who rise there, often associated with kings like ur-namma and Shulgi, do not simply rebuild temples. They rebuild the machinery of the state. They standardize measures. They formalize labor obligations. They create a paper trail in clay that is so dense that thousands of tablets still survive. This is the first thread to hold. Ur-namma is not just a dynasty, it is an administrative system. If Akkad showed what empire could look like, Ur-namma shows what a disciplined state could feel like. The scale is smaller than Akkad's reach, but the control inside its borders is intense. You can see that control in the records. The surviving tablets document rations, work assignments, deliveries, and deadlines. They track barley, wool, and laborers by name. This is not a vague impression. It is a structured archive. The existence of that archive suggests a state that believes it can manage every part of its economy. Think about what that means in daily life. A farmer does not only answer to the land, he answers to a schedule. A temple is not only a sacred site, it is a redistribution center. Workers are assigned. Outputs are measured. The system relies on compliance, and compliance is achieved through record keeping. If Sumer gave us writing as an administrative tool, Ur-namma gives us a mature version of that tool. The state becomes a machine that records itself. This is why historians can see Ur-namma with such clarity. The bureaucratic structure is visible because it left so many traces. And yet this clarity carries a warning. A system that records everything also depends on everything being recorded. It can become rigid. When conditions shift, a rigid system struggles to adapt. Ur-namma is powerful, but it is also vulnerable to the same kind of strain that affects all centralized systems. Now consider the role of the king in this structure. In Ur-namma, kingship is presented not only as political leadership, but as a moral and cosmic responsibility. The king is expected to maintain justice, oversee the economy, and keep order in both the human and divine realms. This is a heavy role. It is also a narrative device. It tells the population that the system is not just efficient, but legitimate. One of the ways this legitimacy is maintained is through law. Ur-namma is associated with one of the earliest known law codes. Whether the code was fully applied in daily life or served as a symbolic statement is debated, but the existence of a codified legal framework suggests a society that wants to define fairness in formal terms. The law is not just a tool of punishment. It is a statement of how the state wants to be perceived. This brings us to the second thread. Ur-namma is about order as ideology. It is not only a practical system, it is a moral narrative. The king is the guarantor of justice. The bureaucracy is the mechanism of stability. The city is the model of a well-run world. At the same time, the state depends on labor, and the labor system is intensive. Many workers are assigned tasks through the administration. Some are free, some are bound to institutional service. This is a controlled economy, and it requires constant oversight. The tablets show how detailed that oversight was, and they show how much effort the state invested in tracking people and goods. Now, a question often asked is whether ur-namma represents a golden age or a highly controlled system. The answer is, both can be true depending on perspective. For the state, the system looks efficient and orderly. For individuals under its control, the system could feel rigid. This is a reminder that administrative clarity does not always mean social freedom. The economy of ur-namma also reveals how interconnected the region remained. Even as the state tried to control its interior, it engaged in long-distance exchange for materials not available locally. Metals, timber, stone. These networks link Ur to distant regions and show that even a tightly managed economy still depends on external flows. That dependence is a vulnerability. If trade routes are disrupted, the system strains. If external pressure rises, the internal order is tested. Ur-namma can manage its records, but it cannot fully control the world beyond its reach. This is where we start to see the tension building. The state's administrative strength is also its weakness. It requires a high level of coordination. It assumes that conditions will remain stable enough for schedules to hold. But history rarely allows that for long. So what happens when conditions shift? The evidence suggests increasing pressure from neighboring groups and changes in regional dynamics. There are references to conflicts, to frontier instability, to the difficulty of maintaining control at the edges. Over time, the center becomes stretched. We should be careful here again. The exact causes of ur-namma's decline are debated. Some emphasize external pressures, others highlight internal strain. It is likely a combination. As always, large systems rarely fail for a single reason. They weaken as multiple stresses align. When ur-namma declines, it leaves behind a legacy that is different from Akkad's. Akkad left a model of imperial ambition. Ur-namma leaves a model of administrative precision. Later kingdoms will borrow its practices, its legal language, its methods of record-keeping. The bureaucracy survives even when the dynasty does not. This is a crucial idea. Systems outlive rulers. Ur-namma shows how a state can build a durable framework that others inherit. This is the continuity in Mesopotamian history. Power changes hands, but administrative memory persists. If you step back, you can see the sequence now. Sumer created the tools of organization. Akkad expanded those tools across a region. Ur-namma refined them into a disciplined internal system. Each stage builds on the previous one, and each stage introduces new vulnerabilities. So what is the emotional core of ur-namma? It is the desire to restore order after chaos. It is the belief that if you can count everything, you can control everything. It is the hope that records can prevent disorder. That hope is powerful, and it is also fragile. And that takes us to the next episode. After ur-namma, the political landscape shifts again, and a new center rises, Babylon. There, law, trade, and identity become the new language of power. The question changes once more. When order is restored through rules, what happens to the people who live inside those rules? That is where we go next.